Hello everyone, Sableye here and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be in the team builder looking at Dachsbun here. Definitely a Pokemon that I think is underused and is starting to appear on a few players' radars. Definitely more so in the streaming community, but we're going to take a look at this thing from a more fully competitive standpoint, get a team going for you guys, play some games, come back around, and kind of overall how the team functions, sort of stuff like that. Without further ado, I say we jump into things. So with Dachsbun here, the big catch is big's body, right? You get hit by a fire move, not only are you immune to it, but you also get the defense boost of 2 stages, right? So what you want to do is, generally speaking, I think you want to go leftovers at least to start so you can get some recovery. And your big thing here is you're going to get that body press boost because you're going to be hitting yourself with a fire move. In this case, it's going to be Chi-Yu and Lava Plume. But for right now, we're going to start with body press, and then you want some sort of coverage move. You're probably looking at something like Protect, I would assume, just in case you need a little bit of extra leftovers chip. I personally like Substitute. I think Substitute is a really cool option here. So I'm just going to immediately put it on. I think it's something that a lot of people don't really expect, right? And if you get some defense boost up and then you sit behind a Substitute, you can potentially make the thing unkillable versus those big physical attackers in the format. Another thing you want to consider here is probably something to actually, if you want to hit something that you might not have been able to hit otherwise. And generally speaking, I think those are the ghost types, right? The ghost types are going to kind of wall you out. When I go up against this Dachsbun core, I always try to preserve my Fluttermane because I'm trying to preserve my Fluttermane. Oh, because Fluttermane is just going to do like 60-70% and it can't really touch me back. So I want to have something that can potentially touch those ghost types back, whether or not that's going to be Crunch, whether or not it's just going to be passive with a Snarl, or simply actually use my fairy typing and go something like Play Rough. Now, I don't really want to invest in stats too much. I think you want to max your HP just so you're not dying to things. I feel like you can kind of get greedy and outpace most Palafins by going like this, which is something to consider, right? Because you don't really want the Palafin to get the haze off. So I'm actually going to go for something like this. Is kind of like my take on it. I think we will go bold. We're going to get our boost. Actually, no, we're going to go careful because we're going to get our boost anyways. Right, we're getting the defense boost anyways. I'm not really too concerned. We'll just go 140 for now because double that will be 180. Makes sense. Put 4 in attack because there's no reason not to. I don't know why that's not 31, but it is now. Yeah, there's really no reason not to go like this. Right, and then 124 is okay. Where's the jump? Actually, let me just do this for a sec. Right there. So I might, you know what? I'm just gonna do that. This checks out. It's kind of a little bit of a slider for now, but we'll deal with it. And I think I'm gonna test Crunch. I don't know how I feel about it, but maybe hitting something like a Goldango if they don't have the Terra could be cool. I don't think you're gonna do much damage to it, but it's an option. And for Terra, I think I'm gonna go Steel, just to kind of sit in front of the fairy types a little bit better. And I only really have one weakness in this case. It's gonna be Ground, so there's really no harm in foul in going for this, you know. Like I said, you're going to pair this thing with Chi-Yu if I could type. Chi-Yu is going to be here. You're going to go choice Scarf just to give yourself a little bit of a handle on the on your speed control. Basically give you a fast chance to get Lava Plumes up. Right, you're going to go Lava Plume. I think you're also going to want Dark Pulse. I think you're going to want a single target fire move here. So I think personally I'm going to go Flamethrower. Just because I'm Scarfed, I don't really want to Scarf myself into Overheat and then do nothing. Could definitely make a case for Overheat, and then I'm also going to go Snarl. I think Snarl is a nice 4th move on Chi-Yu. You could go Terra Grass, Terra Blast as well. I am going to go, actually I do like that actually. But do I want no Flamethrower or no Dark, or no Snarl? I'm going to try no Snarl. I might regret this, but I'm going to try no Snarl. And I'm just going to go max here for the sake of speed and building. Nothing too crazy. Probably optimizations in there somewhere, but for right now we're gonna rock with this. Now my main concern with this piece right here is probably, like I said, still those ghost types, especially that Fluttermane, right? Because a lot of the times I need to lead Chi-Yu to get to a spot where I get my Dachsbun set up. Now if I'm gonna be doing that, Fluttermane in the end game is really going to be scary for me. So something to beat that Fluttermane. Maybe something along the lines of a Steel type, or even something. I actually don't mind Ting Lu as a take into this. It seems like it could have potential. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. Like, Ting Lu seems really solid here. I'm going to go Assault Vest. And like this way, if I have to Lava Plume myself, it's not really going to hurt. I will go Terra Poison, Just seems to be the standard play. This will be Stomping Tantrum, Ruination, Heavy Slam. And you could go Fissure here. I'm going to just go Earthquake for the time being, just because I don't really want to click Fissure today. Not really in the mood for it. That's something to go. I'm going to go 76 Adamant, I think. That's where the jump should be. I'll throw this into here. You just want to bulk this thing up, right? Because you can. No real reason not to. I'll go a little bit of speed. I don't think I need a lot of it, but a little bit of speed. Slide some numbers. The less you have in HP is generally better because you get more out of investing into defenses. Because since you already have such a naturally high HP stat, you get more into defenses. How else do I want to close this now? Really, really weak to water types, so definitely want something to capitalize on that. So that's either going to be an electric type or a grass type. Now, I don't really love the grass types in this format. Like, I really don't. There's not a whole lot going on. Like, my big grass type in this format is probably just a Mungus. And you know what? I'm just going to play it safe. Going to go a Mungus here. I'll throw a spread in. It's just going to be a standard Amoongus. I'm not going to talk about it. There'll be a spread in there when we come back to the builder later. Interesting core here. We don't have a water type. I do kind of want the water type. The question is, why do I want a water type? And what kind of water type am I looking for here? Because, like, there's not that many of them. I could go Gyarados. I think it's an interesting option. But I also feel like having something like Iron Bundle Fluttermane puts on a lot of pressure and probably catches a lot of people with a scenario like, okay, they need to get around the Chi-Yu Bundle Fluttermane core. Tinglu seems really odd here, though. Tinglu seems really odd if I commit to this. Like, I'm okay with Chi-Yu Flutter, but Chi-Yu Flutter and Bundle with Dachsbun being my only special attack, physical attacker seems weird. So I'm going to drop Bundle. I definitely still think I want the water type, though. Like, the water type, in my opinion, is just a really good piece to have. I don't love Azumarill here. It really could just be Palafin, but I really don't want to just commit to Palafin, you know? Because I feel like trying to set Palafin up within this is going to be really difficult. I mean, it might be doable, but I think it's going to be more difficult than I would like. I'm going to try Tauros, honestly. Just the Intimidate, just the ability to have the Intimidate, I think really works. Nothing too crazy with the Tauros, though. I will go Terra. I think we're going to go Terra Fire. Stops burns if they want to try and burn me. It's going to be safety goggles to get around Amoongus stuff if I could type. Raging Bull to break potential screens. I think close combat is a really good move. We're going to have Aqua Jet just to pick off a few late game things. I also really like Tauros as a way to beat Shenpao. I think is a really cool concept here. It does a pretty good job into it, right? Resist the Ice Spinner, resist the Dark type move, neutral to the Sacred Sword. It's a really good typing to have into it. And we're just gonna go Protect here. I'm gonna go Standard for now. I think you could make this and adapt with a little bit more bulk, but for right now, we're gonna go Standard here, just nice and jolly. Like I said, Amoongus and Fluttermane are going to be really quick, nice and quick pieces. They're going to be standard. It's probably going to be Booster, Fluttermane, and your Citrus Berry Amoongus. So we'll see you guys in battle. Okay, so we're going to get our first match here. And our first match looks like, right off the bat with Scizor, I really think Scarf Chi-Yu Dachsbun kind of goes crazy here, right? We can immediately Terra Steel the Dachsbun if they do lead something like that Scizor, just so we're not dying, right? We're going to get our boost up pretty easily with the Well-Baked Body. It just seems like a really, really solid team to just do this into. I will open team sheets, though, just for the sake of consistency here. I think it makes a lot more sense. AV Scizor is interesting to see. It is Terra Fire as well, so really good to know. They're probably not going to immediately switch it out then in front of the Chi-Yu. Looks like a standard Amoongus. Looks like a Booster Flutter, so pretty standard. Actually a Substitute, but I don't think that's going to be too big of an issue for us. I don't love having Tinglu here, but I do like having Fluttermane in the back for sure. And the real question is, do I want Tinglu or do I want a Amoongus? And because I don't think Tauros is amazing. Like, Tauros is going down to the Fluttermane. Tauros is going down. It can't really touch the Scizor all that well. I mean, it probably beats it in the long run. Actually, I do kind of like it. Maybe I do go Tauros. I'm going to go Tauros. I'm going to regret it, but I'm going to lock Tauros here. So, Flutter Gus on the opposing side of the field here. This is really, really nice. There's two ways I could play this. There is two ways I could opt for this here. I can Terra Grass and protect the Dachsbun, and my concept there is the fact that this will get me chip onto Fluttermane and potentially give it a 2-shot. And I don't have to worry about going to sleep by protecting Dachsbun. And I don't have to worry about Dachsbun taking 62 million% from this Fluttermane. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to Terra Grass as well. It might be an overcommitment, but I'm going to go for it because I think what they might just attempt, they're going to try and put things to sleep here, right? So, going to get a Lava Plume up. Nothing too crazy. No real massive damage, but... And like I said, there's the Spore. The Chi-Yu not really appreciating that, but that's what the Terra Grass was for. Now, the problem here is my Dachsbun is not in a amazing position. I can Body Press Amoonguss now, which is interesting. I could also just try and crunch Fluttermane to put it in range of something else, and I think I'm going to do that. They're actually going to pivot out here. I don't agree with the pivot. I really don't expect that. Imagine if I would have clicked Substitute here. I probably should have, so I don't get to put to sleep by the... Oh, they're going to Puff. That did a lot more than I was expecting. Should be fine, no? Like, I technically don't need to Lava Plume again. I think preserving Chi-Yu could actually be important. So I'm going to pivot into... Pivot into Tauros and Sub seems pretty safe. Like, I don't know what Arcanine wants to do here. Probably just Flare Blitzing to Tauros slot. And behind a Sub, I'm just going to sit here and not worry about it. Right? Yeah, they can't put me to sleep. I'm behind a Sub right now. We've got Dachsbun up. Now we pressure Arcanine with the Raging Bull. And we can't be redirected. And I'm just going to start body pressing the Amoonguss. Goodbye, Arcanine. That's what the goggles are for. You'll love to see it. Body press into Gus. Nothing too crazy, but it does do 33%. And we are going to see the forfeit from our opponent. So a really convincing game one there. Despite, you know, not really getting that strategy off, right? So we didn't get the strat off, but we still managed to make it decent, you know? And that's what I think is important when you build strategies like this, is that you don't rely solely on the strategy. Because you start relying solely on the strategy, then all of a sudden it fails and it doesn't work. But we are going to see another open sheet, which you love to see it. Back to Water Amoonguss, so looking like I'm going to be going back to the Dachsbun games, you know? I think it's a very similar concept as to the last one, and I think I can just go Tauros Flutter in the back again. I don't see too many issues with this. I really think this is a pretty solid start. Another thing to consider could be like Terra Water Dachsbun. But I mean, you're still taking massive damage from things like Fluttermane, so I don't really think it matters. Because there's really no way to resist both of Fluttermane stabs. So I guess maybe you would want to resist, if to resist anything, you want to resist the Moonblast since it's the stronger of the two, and they tend to Terra Fairy more often than not. So you would resist that one and just take the neutrality to Ghost. But they're gonna go Palafin Arcanine, and what I love about this position, is that Palafin doesn't want to be here, and if they want to try and set the Palafin up, they've got to get through Chi-Yu. So they could just try to go Terra Water Jet Punch. But I'm going to cover that with a Grass and a Lava Plume. I'm going to Lava Plume, and I'm actually going to sub. I think it's a pretty safe turn to sub. I don't see too many issues with it. Yep, they're going to go for the Terra Water. They're going to E-Speed Jet Punch and try to knock out my Chi-Yu. Like I said, I was not going to let that happen. We get our Lava Plume up. We get the defense boost on the Dachsbun. Going to get a nice little clean substitute. And I'm pretty content with the way this has went. I think I can just make the game plan and go out of you into you. And you probably want to switch out, so I'm going to just body press the Arcanine. Palafin's going to be a little bit shaky in the end game here, though, I will be honest with you. Dragonite's here. E-Speed. They are going to crit me, which is super unfortunate, but there's a nice body press for some damage. Okay. This means there's either no Fluttermane, which is really, really nice, and it's Shenpao, or there's no Shenpao and it's Fluttermane, both of which I think are good for me here. It is inner focus Dragonite, so I don't have to worry about anything along the lines of multi-scale like that, so I don't have to worry about breaking that. I think I'm just going to drop a Raging Bull into the Arcanine. Actually, I'm going to protect over here. I don't really want to lose Tauros too easily. And I'm just going to body press into the Arcanine, I think. Let's get rid of a piece here. Okay. They probably are going after Tauros, though, in my opinion. That, I don't care. Like, okay, it wasn't the best turn in the world for me, but, like, that could have gone a whole lot worse, and it didn't. So, I think they have to Terra Dragonite in order to get a flying move, in which case, and that is indeed the case. So, should just be a Raging Bull over there, and I will just body press into D-Knight. Tauros tanking. They probably double me. Not going to kill the Tauros because Tauros is goated. Arcanine is going to go down freely. We're going to get a nice little body press here. The Palafin does have haze, and they are in Tailwind, so I do have to consider that a little bit more than I would have necessarily liked. This should be a... See, I want to call an E-Speed from Dragonite and go into Flutter Mane, but they also have Tailwind up, and I don't think they necessarily need to E-Speed. And because of that, that's a little concerning for me. So I'm just going to let myself go down. If they give me the Aqua Jet, they give me the Aqua Jet, and I double Palafin here, because right now Dragonite's dead to Dazzling Gleam. There's the haze as anticipated, and there's actually just a low kick into my Fairy Dachsbun, and that I don't know if I necessarily agree with. What I do need to do is get Tauros to go down, though. I will close combat Palafin if they give it to me. I'm still behind a sub, so I'm more than content here. And once again, I want to bully Palafin, I think. Dragonite is not in a spot where it actually scares me here. Go ahead and Jet Punch, that's okay. Palafin gets chipped. Now we get a little bit of an interesting spot where we get Flutter Mane on the field. And this is interesting because of the Palafin has Terra Water Jet Punch, and we will be dropping to that. So maybe I should have preserved my Flutter Mane, preserved my Tauros for an Intimidate. Could have been a slight misplay on our end. But knowing that they have to go for that, and then I can click something like Substitute over here, still feels pretty safe. That's also fine. Because like I said, we're sitting here behind a Substitute right now. Shenpao probably has Sucker Punch. It does indeed have Sucker Punch. So now they have no reason not to go after my Flutter Mane here. I'm going to go into Chi-Yu. I'm going to click Body Press and hit the Shenpao, break the Sash. Because I'm not killing the Palafin, which is the problem here. Right? They're going to actually Sucker Punch that slot and Jet Punch the Dachsbun. So we've actually gotten Chi-Yu on the field relatively safely right now. And I'm not going to complain about it. But definitely not in a position I'm like, oh my goodness, like I should really be partying right now. So I basically have to just let Chi-Yu go down. Body Press might be enough to kill Palafin beside the Shenpao. So that's what we're going to bank on here. I'm going to go Lava Plume if they give it to me. They shouldn't. But in the off chance that they do give me the play, I will go for it and I'll Body Press. They actually Jet Punch the Chi-Yu. So the earlier... The earlier crit's going to suck there because they didn't have to Sucker Punch it. But we're going to see Palafin survive on 1 HP. Now, last time Flutter Mane protected. I think I can potentially prank them by not protecting this time. Having their Palafin click Protect. Actually, I'm just going to Protect and I'm going to Body Press into Shenpao, I think. Let's Gleam. Yeah. That was... I could have protected and Body Pressed, but I was losing Dachsbun anyways. So I don't think it necessarily mattered per se right there. But we'll get into another one. I'm really still trying to think of where we lose that last one because... Was it the crits? No, I think it was the fact that I didn't preserve Tauros to help beat the Palafin endgame. And I think that's where we lost that one. I'm just going to commit to Bread Dog, I think. I think I commit to it again. Like, I don't see a reason to not commit to it here. Like, what I need to do is stop wasting my Terra turn 1 on Chi-Yu as well. It's, like, very excessive, right? Like, right now we're putting on a lot of pressure, so we might as well go for that. I like Ting Lu to cover their Chi-Yu Flutter Mane stuff, and I think I'm going to go with my own Flutter Mane late game. It's still nice. Maybe having something or a little bit of a better answer to Shenpao is really nice. But I lost that last game probably on the fact that I let them haze me, you know? If I don't let them get the haze off, we're in a really, really good spot. So, we've got Beads of Ruin. We are Scarfed. I think I'm going to go after just try to kill the Dragapult here because them in Trick Room doesn't scare me. So, I'm going to try and kill Dragapult here and I'm going to sub. We're going to get the Dragapult thanks to being Scarfed Chi-Yu. I think that was a little bit obvious, but thankfully they didn't respect it all that much. And Dachsbun gets the sub up, doesn't have to eat the Psychic all that badly. And could have protected Dachsbun, but that just felt like a pretty safe play. Because if they would have tried to Trick Room, we would have punished. So now I'm locked into Dark Pulse, unfortunately. So I do kind of have to preserve this if I want to. Like, I'd have to reset it if I want to use it. Which is the only problem I find with Scarf Chi-Yu. But I guess I could just Dark Pulse Farigiraf. I have no real reason not to. And I just Body Press over here. Like, Farigiraf actually is going to survive, which is shocking to me. They're going to Ice Spinner. Dachsbun is alive. Dachsbun Body Press into the 1 HP Shenpao. I'm actually shook that that Farigiraf survived, but honestly, I don't care. I no longer care because Fluttermane comes in. I don't think Sucker Punch can kill my Fluttermane, so I Dark Pulse to kill you off, and I Moonblast to kill you off. There's not a whole lot they can do now. As long as Fluttermane is surviving this Sucker Punch, which with the bulk I have on this one, I definitely oh. But they Sucker Punched the wrong slot. Never mind, we're fine. That was a really cool tech. Helping Hand from the Giraffe. If they would have Sucker Punched Fluttermane, they would have had a shot. But at that point, Chi-Yu still goes crazy. I think they were pretty much in an impossible position there. So, at that point, just Dachsbun went, Chi-Yu went crazy there. Scarf Chi-Yu just really punched. And I think I can pretty much do more of the same. Like, my concern here is going to be Tailwind, which is probably something I need to consider with this team. So maybe I can't just lead the Dachsbun. But the thing is, if I go for this and they lead Tailwind, they have to spend turn 1 clicking Tailwind, which I think I can maybe take advantage of and capitalize on. I also like Tauros for late game Aqua Jet into you guys to pick you off. We actually are going to see team sheets. So it's Cloak, Talonflame. I'm fine with that. It is Quick Guard, something to consider moving forward. Life Orb, Great Tusk, which you never like to see, but I think I can just go Flutter and kind of maneuver my way through. It is Banded Pulp, but that's not surprising. Okay. This I'm content with because what it allows me to do here is, like I said, they're going to click Tailwind. I'm going to Body Press. I'm going to Terra Grass, I think, because I don't think they can kill me if I Terra Grass. Actually, they probably just click Close Combat into Chi-Yu. This is where Terra Ghost would be really nice because it would be a little bit safer. What I could do though is so they Tailwind. How do I maneuver this now? Because I need to get pressure on. Like, I'm gonna switch a piece in for Tauros. It's a question of which piece am I switching for Tauros, right? I'm gonna attempt this. It's really greedy, but if I can get it to work, it might be my best play. I don't know if I live a -1 close combat with Chi-Yu here, but Lava Pluming my own Tauros doesn't seem that poor of an idea. So they are going to close combat. I don't live anyways, and because of that, this game is probably just over now. I don't see much of a way out of this. Having my own Tailwind on this team could be something to make up for that. I think I'm content just doing this. Yeah, this is fine. They're going to try and burn me here. They could taunt the Dachsbun, but I don't think that's going to be something they do. Yeah, they're going to do that. Could have Terra Fired, but actually I couldn't have Terra Fired. Never mind. Now at this point, we're not winning, guys. At this point, we're not winning. This is just not going to happen at this point. I'm going to go raid. Actually, I'm going to Aqua Jet just on the off chance that they give it to me. I wonder if Aqua Jet Crunch can kill Flutter. It's not going to, but we can try for it. Yeah, there's no way. Gleam, yeah, too much. Crunch did do nothing to Flutter. Alright, I'm not sure if I like Crunch here. I think there might be a better option. Like, Play Rough seems maybe a little bit better. I double protect to get out of Tailwind. No, this is just over, Ryan. Yeah, this is just over. There's no way. We're gonna save time and just jump into another one, guys. We're gonna save time and jump to another one. We're gonna get Orthworm here now. I want to go steal Dachsbun because it should shut down a DD Armor for the most part. So I think I can just... Do I need to bring Chi-Yu though? Or can I just rely on them to set it up for me? Because, you know, they could probably lead something like Roaring Moon. I'm actually going to go lead Tauros, Dachsbun, Fluttermane. I'm going to bring Chi-Yu. But it's more so going to be my late game thing. And if they lead this, I'm fine with that. Could have led Chi-Yu. Honestly, I wasn't really expecting this to be their lead. But I'm going to go into Chi-Yu immediately. Terra Steel. And honestly, I don't see a reason not to just start body pressing. Oh, sub. Let's sub. Because they might try to, like, Expanding Force Trick Room here. And sub will keep us alive for a little bit, basically. They're actually going to protect Trick Room? Am I getting a free substitute here with Free substitute with Dachsbun. You love to see it. I have no reason not to Lava Plume. Like, yeah, I boost their fire type attacks, but I don't care. And I'm just going to drop a body press into the Indeedee, I think. Armor Rouge doesn't want to be on the field. They're going to E-Force. That's fine. To break my sub. Their entire game plan was let's break this man's sub, which I'm okay with. There's a body press, not going to do too much to Ndidi. Here's a lava plume, going to get my well-baked body up. Obviously give their armors a little bit of flash fire, but that's not something I'm concerned about at the moment. Gonna lava plume again. I'm gonna drop a crunch into armor ridge this time. Lava plume again. I'm gonna protect, actually, get a little bit of health back. Because I feel like this is just an expanding force to try and kill me. Okay, beautiful. Like, once again, I've already given them the flash fire boost, so I don't care too much anymore that they're on the field here. Indeed, he's going to go down to the burn from the lava plume, which is always really nice, right? I can't re-burn them with lava plume. This is probably offensive earthworm. I want to make a pivot, but I also don't want to just die. Like, what's more valuable here, right? And that's really what we have to ask ourselves. I think if I go Flutter Mane here, I should be able to survive the turn. And I'm not sure if I can live anything with Dachsbun, but if I manage to get it off and get a body press into Earthworm, I will take it. Terra Fire Earthworm. E-Force is coming out. Both of us are going to be surviving. Earthworm can only kill one. It's a body press into the Flutter Mane, which is more than fine for me. And I'm not going to complain about this position. This seems pretty solid. I get to protect my way out of Trick Room here. And once again, no real reason to not do that. Then I put immediate pressure onto the Armor Rouge with a Shadow Ball, call it, and I probably call the fact that it's going to protect. And I ignore it because I can always just kill it the following turn with a Dark Pulse if I need to. They're going to ID. I'm going to go after the Earthworm here. I'm going to go Shadow Ball and Body Press. I think Armor Rouge should be... No, let's go after Armor Rouge, because if they protect and they kill my Flutter Mane, I get Chi-Yu and I Dark Pulse. That's the better way to do this. I'm going to substitute, I think. Once again, should have gone after the worm, guys. Should have gone after the worm. Thankfully, though, I am going to be behind a sub. I'm fine with this. Chi-Yu can come in. Armor Rouge cannot protect right now, so I'm going to go for a Dark Pulse, but they also might switch it out. If they switch it out, what's the switch in? Is it Roaring Moon? I would assume they brought the Roaring Moon. I should have gone Tauros first, actually. Looking back at this, going Tauros before Chi-Yu cleans this up a lot better. But I think I really want a Dark Pulse. But I'm going to actually Dark Pulse the Earthworm, calling the Armor Rouge switch out. And I'm going to double it. No Armor Rouge switch out. Earthworm's going to tank this, unfortunately. Is that going to give them a free Trick Room as well? Nope, just an E-Force. Okay. Because they didn't Trick Room, we're still in this game. Maybe the Armor Rouge doesn't have it. But I think this is me just clicking buttons right now. I'm gonna Raging Bull, and I'm just gonna... I want to kill the Earthworm so badly. I should have killed Armor Rouge. Watch, they're gonna click Trick Room now, and I'm gonna cry. It's E-Force. Okay, that also makes sense. Should have killed Armor Rouge. This was not my cleanest game. We'll go one more for you guys, though. Can we stop playing Shenpao Pulp, please? Chi-Yu, Dachsbun. Like, have I brought Tinglu once? I don't think so. I probably just should switch that thing out. Anyways, accept open sheets. They're not going to accept them, but... Flutter Gust. I'm going to go Gust this time. I think Amoonguss is something I should be leaning on a little bit more. Especially into, like, the Palafin matchup. It's something I haven't really been going for. I've just kind of been going, like, Chi-Yu, Dachsbun, Tauros, Flutter. Which seems like one of those, like, I'm on Showdown, I'm just going to click buttons modes. You know, like, it's a pretty good mode. Overall, it seems pretty strong. But I think having the... I should actually I have bulk on this team for the matchups that aren't good. And I've kind of just been forcing Dachsbun in a lot. Which I don't think is great, but... This is okay, though. See, this I don't mind. Right? This is one of those ones where I think I can commit to Lava Plume Body Press, and I don't really care what they do. They're going to stay on the field with Palafin, maybe looking for an immediate haze. But once again, I've sped crept that with Dachsbun, and they're going to just wave crash my grass type. I think they should be really scared right now. I'm going to substitute so I don't get put to sleep. They can swap out. This is fine. Lava Plume's going to do some massive damage. They haven't teared yet, which is something to consider. But this is really where Dachsbun games. We actually get the burn on Gus, but I don't think that matters in the long run. We're going to get... Is it a Pollen Puff? Nope, just a Spore into the sub. Alright, good job, Dachsbun. This game's over. Yeah, as I say that, it's an immediate forfeit. we're back into the builder just to wrap this one up. I think Dachsbun and Chi-Yu has potential in the correct matchups. I've noticed we were struggling a little bit with the Palafin, and just generally speaking, when I lose Chi-Yu early and I can't bring it in to deal with things, right? So having an Amoonguss there, I think, is correct. Like, I think Amoonguss Flutter is correct. And I also think Water type is correct, just to deal with the Fire types that kind of want to wall out the Chi-Yu. I'm not sure Tauros is the correct Water type, but Tauros, the Water type in general, feels correct there. Ting-Lu, I didn't bring once. Now, I don't know if that's just a small sample size in the 5 or 6 games that we played, which is very well possible. Maybe I'm forcing Chi-Yu Dachsbun into too many modes, and I should be doing something a little bit different over here sometimes and mixing up my game plan. Can't really rate Chi-Yu. It might be decent. Like, in theory, it was decent for me. Like, it kind of sits in front of Fluttermane pretty well, especially if I tear a Poison, right? Maybe it is something that comes, and once I fine-tune the team a little bit more and realize what some matchups are, it comes. But probably the mod to drop on this team right now. It's an interesting option. I know there's a bunch of variations on Chi-Yu Dachsbun, guys, but I kind of wanted to just kind of jump into the builder, explore the team a little bit. Didn't really have a team set in stone that I really wanted to try with it. Jumped into the builder a little bit, gave it a shot, see what was going on, you know. I think it has potential to actually do something, right? But the only problem I don't like about it is, like, you kind of know what's coming, right? You know, you basically revealing your Chi-Yu item, and everybody knows what Dachsbun does now, right? With the body press and the lava plume. But if you can get around and basically use the fact that they have to stop this with the rest of the team and capitalize with the rest of the team as they're trying to prevent this from happening, I think that's where this team really has potential. I don't think this team does a very good job at that. I personally don't like my back four. I think Amoonguss Flutter are probably correct. Water type plus something else is probably good. But, like, I don't know how accurate this is. I haven't really played this core. But first instincts, first thoughts, that's what I'm getting at. With that, though, I'm going to stop rambling, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. I would appreciate it. And with that, I'm going to get on out of here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you all in a future video.